In today's video on the 7 minutes lessons on life and love, we're going to respond to a reader question. A young lady, after viewing the last video on why a woman should never help a man, posed the question, well, what does that look like, Deb? If a woman is doing too much and she's helping a man, what does that look like? And I thought about it. It's like, she's right. She may not understand, since this is what's the behavior that's ingrained in so many women. They're not going to understand when they're doing too much. So over the next 3 days, I'm going to provide you with a total of 14 examples of women who are doing too much to take care of, support, prop up, and basically take responsibility for a grown man. We're going to do that in 7 minute segments because that's what we're doing these days. This is Deborrah Cooper from survivingdating.com. I'll be right back and let's get this going. One of the most common ways that women help men when they shouldn't is by providing a place for him to stay. After he gets evicted, released from prison, kicked out from his granny's house, or he finishes his halfway house parole, they let him move in. These guys often don't have a job, they don't have no money, they don't have no furniture, they don't have nothing but that pickle and some Jordans. And usually these women have children, right? So then a lot of them are low income, so they are on Section 8 or whatever, low income housing, which requires that you don't have someone else living in the household except for the mother and her children. So these women are risking losing their housing vouchers and their low income housing privileges behind some dude. These are homosexual bums. Or another way that these women will get caught up is they'll help pay rent. Now, say she's not a low income, she got some money. She's going to help pay rent at his house. She's going to help him cover his mama's rent, his brother's rent, anywhere that he feels like he can use to, sleep with other women. She won't know that, of course, but that's what's going on. Some of you will even rent an apartment for him in your name, and you will risk your money and your credit. The worst story I heard was a woman who moved a guy in who refused to leave. And to get away from him, she ended up having to take her kids and go to a shelter. He messed up her credit because he didn't pay the rent, and the apartment was rented in her name. Number 2, you put clothes on his back and shoes on his feet. You buy him the newest, the fanciest, the designer stuff instead of letting him figure it out and hit Goodwill or Ross Dress for Less, something that works with his budget. We're not talking about occasional gifts for Christmas or birthdays. That's fine. But you spend money on him, buying him all this kind of stuff because that's what he wants, and he asks you for it like you his mother, and you comply. Number 3, you put food in his stomach. Keep in mind, girlfriend, you don't need to be feeding some miscellaneous stray food. There's soup kitchens and there's churches that feed the hungry. There are also food stamps. So, if he's low income and stuff, he can get them. If you have children and you're on a budget already, please explain to me what you look like stepping in to feed some man. And if he comes to your house on the weekends all the time and he's your boyfriend and he got some money, but you never ask him to contribute and he's there all weekend, every weekend, eating, using up your lights, using up your toilet paper, your soap, and thinking that you're supposed to feed him and stuff. See, no. He needs to be unasked some money for some food and some other resources that he's using up. Number 4. Let's talk about some car issues. You pick him up and drop him off, like your name is Uber Williamson something. You don't ever get a dime of gas money. You got to also consider and add in there the wear and tear on your vehicle. Your tires, your engine, your transmission. You don't think about any of that. And the time you spend driving Mr. Daisy is just flat out amazing. Some of you will let him drive your car knowing he don't have no money to pay for any repairs. He don't have no money for the insurance. He don't have a job, period. So if he don't even have a job to go to, why is he using your car? And a lot of you, I've heard these stories where the dude, he has the car, right? He's supposed to pick you up, but suddenly he's so busy doing other things that he's late. So there you are standing outside in the elements waiting for a ride home in your car. Some of these dudes will even let their friends drive the car, and then their friends crash the car, and they act like, none of them act like they care because it's not their vehicle. And you did that to yourself. Why do you do that? The bottom line is, if he don't have no money for a car, he has money for a bus pass. That's where he should be spending his money. That's what he should be getting. The worst story I heard was a woman who rented a car for her boyfriend, which he then took to one of them chop shops, so they took the parts off of and everything. He claimed that he returned it, but in essence, she had to catch a felony for auto theft because of him. Of course, it did get released when they caught him, and he ended up in jail. Another woman let a man drive her car while she was at work, and then she never saw him or the car again. So this is something also that you need to think about. Number 5, you are his headhunter. You step in and you're looking for him a job. He needs a job, right? But he needs to get off his ass and find a job. But instead of him putting forth the effort, you do it. You do his resume. You pour over the online websites for looking for a job. You send his cover letter and his resume to apply. I even heard a story of a woman who went on a job interview with her husband. Of course, he didn't get the job. But, some of you also will enroll the dude in like a trade program. He hasn't necessarily shown any interest in it, but you want him to do it, so you sign him up. You use your money to sign him up for a class, which of course he doesn't attend, half attends, and fails out of. Number 6, you lie to cover up for him. He's basically a bum, but you don't want it to be a secret. You don't want nobody to know. So he beat your ass, right? So you lied to the police to protect him so he doesn't have to go to jail. You lie to people about him working, about his contribution to your life in the household, about how he treats you. If you're a young student, you do his homework, and so he gets a degree that you basically earned for him. You slide him money under the table and give it to him in advance so it will look like to other people that he's taking you out when he's really not. He's just pretending to be the man that he's really not. You buy your own engagement ring to pretend that he loves you so much that he plopped down for that carrot. You lie to make him look good and less of a loser. And the final one in today's video is point 7. You use your credit for his benefit. He's done nothing. He has nothing. He has some very jacked up credit or no credit at all. He has no job. You don't even know what his financial ability is. But you buy him an expensive phone and you pay the bill. And then the clown barely even calls you. You sign for a loan for $1,000, but he won't give you like a dime of it. You pay for expensive auto repairs on the car that he does have. You will provide down payments or co-sign for vehicles or buy it in your name altogether. If he can't get a car loan, honey, come on now. He needs to save up his money and buy the bucket that he can afford. So I'm going to hit you back. We're going to have some more of these in the next video. This is Deb Cooper from Surviving Dating signing out.